own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Oh, what is up, my friends? Welcome to week one of playoffs here in HSEL. My name is Jeff. I am here with Pyro, and we're here to kick off some Rocket League. We have got a lot of Rocket League to get through, but we're here to get things started. It's playoffs, man. It's playoffs.
All right. Yes, playoffs indeed, Bull Skunk. Listen, I've been looking forward to this. All right, a lot of regular season for these high school teams in their esports league, but you know, do you have what it takes to get through when the going gets tough, when it matters most? And we're getting kicked off as well, Bull, with probably one of the best matches you could ask for. This is the 16 and the 17 seed, both linking up. Should be as close as it should get.
Yeah, both coming in with identical records, 5-3 from both of our two squads, which I guess we should probably tell you who's playing. It's up at the top of your screen. But yes, we are referring to Hackettstown taking on GCA champions coming in here. And again, yeah, both 5-3, but the roads looked a little bit different on how our teams got to that 5-3 record.
It did indeed. Hackettstown, if I'm not mistaken, ended in a few sweeps in a row. They start out with that 0-3 record, and after that, something changed. Something switched, Bull Skunk. I mean, you're talking about a team of Hackettstown now that are coming with insane momentum.
And when you're playing on a best of 7 during your regular season, I mean, those sweeps are each 4-0s. Like, that is, it makes it that much more difficult, that much more. You have to be on your game day in and day out, and each game being that much longer, just really a testament to how much Hackettstown was able to turn around their season. Pretty remarkable, if I do say so. I mean, 0-3 start, turn around to not dropping a map out of 20 games.
Yeah. And I wonder if that has to do anything with their roster, right, Bull? Because you have a team that actually has about 8 or 9 players on their roster right now. Maybe they like to shake it up early on in the season, but then started to find their footing with their starter 3. So I think when we know that Diaper Check, Luke C, and Jarhead are coming out on the field here today, my guess is that though they have a deep roster, this should be their starter 3.
And it could be just a matter of the early seasons. Maybe they're just looking to get ready to play time, get everybody some experience, a little time on the pitch to get that competitive juices going, and maybe find some synergies, find what pairing is going to work to get. Was going to land in the end. You're going to be fighting from a deficit early on. Kickoff goal here for GCA. We spent all this time talking about Hackettstown, and it's Fantasy who scores the goal early.
They said, listen, if you're not going to talk about me, I'll show you exactly what I'm made of. These players say it's playoffs and we are here to play fantasy. Beautiful one to get us started.
Cybercheck rolling it on the outside. Look at that shot. Even better save. Cybercheck almost put one in. Jarhead with the demo in. Well, Hackettstown sending it back the other way. See if they can find an equalizer here. We're just 30 seconds into this game one. This is going to be a best of 7 here, just as we saw in regular season. So lots of time to go through. Only 30 seconds down and at least 20 minutes more to go.
Right, and it's about that first look of the players that you can start to feel out, right? I mean, Akamai got a lot of time in the air with an aerial and looked pretty solid with the car control, so maybe we'll see some mechs coming out as the game goes on. Already you're seeing Hackettstown start to try and get that equalizer. They're playing more of the ground game so far, keeping things level, and we'll see which strategy could pay off as we do go forward.
GCA is trying to keep it out from in front of their net at the moment. To me, a decent touch there. Doesn't quite get it out of the zone. Diver check with a good play at midfield, but the ball still ends up back in Hackettstown territory. Eventually they find the clear of it. A 1v2 here for Diaper Check. Just going to play it out of the corner. Bit of a traffic jam here as this ball slows down. Pops out to the outside. 3 players go up for it. GCA come up with the touch. Might be an opportunity, but Diaper Check shot will go wide.
Yeah, it goes wide there. And there we go. We got all player names on the field as well, so you can see exactly who we've got. And Diaper
there's
Check.
Those nameplates.
Holy Roadhog XL. I don't actually think that is XL, but it was an XL touch. That shot almost paved right through him. And good patience there from Luke. It's a fake on 2 of the players there, going for a bump on the 3rd, but just couldn't link up on it.
The patience kind of turned to desperation there at the end. Maybe they've been sitting around a little too long. It was a good move to get past 1, but play didn't unfurl, and when it was all said and done, Hackettstown still haven't been able to come back on this early goal. It was a 5-second goal off kickoff. It's been the only one we've seen in game 1 thus far. Fantasy with touch at midfield. We can go back to the skies and go over the defense here, perhaps work off the backboard. Ball is going to drift in toward the box, but Luke C able to cover that one. Gets it out of there and finds the clear.
Oh boy, and this could be threatening here. Diaper Check had a look, but had to deal with the entirety of the GCA defense. That's something you don't normally have to get to, because normally the defense of GCA is going to be rotating around as sound as they have been, but in that moment, whew, they knew how threatening it could have been. They can be just as lethal. Fantasy, it's their 2nd.
And the only 2. And it's just a gorgeous touch right there in the middle, able to kind of weave in between, dance between 2 defenders to find that ball. Rotate around nicely, gets it accurate, gets it on target, and there we go, 2-0 here for GCA champions. What a good start for them right out of the gate. Now KV putting pressure on right off kickoff. GCA champions aren't letting off the throttle one bit.
Yeah, so we'll see how that continues. It is a 2-goal lead right now for GCA, and they are trying to lock up that defense. Ball touch off the ceiling, shot there. Diaper Check, good save, but is it enough? Ball off the crossbar now. Jarhead, oh, it is enough. I can't believe it, but still, they've kept GCA to 2. Bump and shove, and it sticks right at that scoreline.
I mean, that was throwing pots and pans at them. That was everything you've got. Pull the pocket sand out and throw it at them. Anything you can to keep that ball out of the net. Somehow, Hackettstown's able to survive that onslaught. GCA coming in looking for another, but a demo is going to slow that down a little bit. Favorite turn in a momentary 2v2. Akamai waiting at midfield to receive this ball. Has got 2 players backing him up. Wants to work along this left-hand side. Not able to get around Diaper Check. And the ball comes screaming back towards the orange net.
It is kind of that last moment here, Hackettstown. If you want to come start out swinging here, if you want to keep that momentum from the end of the regular season, sweep after sweep is what they were able to gain. You've got to win this game now. You've got to get a couple goals on the board. Jarhead does dunk that flick and almost gets the goal as well. Luke C in time for the shot. Hackettstown on the board.
And not a moment too soon. 27 seconds remaining. This one had to go. It was now or never for Hackettstown. And they stick with the play. They stay with the ball. And it's Luke C who gets the job done in the end. Still work to go. Lead's been cut in half, but Hackettstown are still behind. Pressure is on them, and they are running out of time. Akabe now has the ball. This could just finish off this first game. Jarhead with the save. It's a 2v1 going the other direction.
Oh, and that was maybe the chance to equalize here. They may get a last-second opportunity. Luke C, touch denied. Jarhead wants to bring this infield. Sees a teammate in diaper check. There's the touch! And in clutch maneuvers, Hackettstown ties the ball game.
Unreal. The pass from Jarhead is perfect. Held on to that one just the right amount of time, a right amount of patience. Couldn't have been more well done. Hackettstown going goalless for the first 4.5 minutes. Put up 2 in the final 30 seconds. Now with 0 seconds to go, it's looking like we're going to a golden goal situation. GCA champions just want this one to hit the ground. Akame is going to keep it alive, push it down towards the other end. Ball still up, 3 players in, ball towards the blue net. No way! Fantasy is not letting this go to overtime.
You've got to be kidding me. Hackettstown, all that work put in to earn themselves an overtime, but you don't earn it until that ball's on the ground with triple zeros on the clock. GCA champions, they bring it right back at them and take game 1.
What a bold move from Akame to keep that ball alive. I'm thinking you just down that ball, just get it out there. You're on your own side. You're in your own corner. You're deep within your own third. And Akame is still like, no, we're keeping this ball alive. We're driving it all the way down the pitch and taking it all the way into the blue net on 0 seconds. Unreal.
Listen, that is the attitude of champions bull. Okay, that most players, yeah, all right, give it up. That was 2 goals conceded. We got to take a little bit of time to recollect and see what we can do in overtime. But no, absolutely not. Akamai's like, we can do this, and we're gonna do it now. That is 2 assists coming out from Akamai. Fantasy with the hat trick though, with that last goal, Bulls. That is Fantasy hitting the top of the charts in the score line.
Yeah, and gets a tip of the hat from me. And, you know, we were talking about at the top of the series how playoffs it's time to step up. This is where you elevate your game, or you're going to be watching from the sidelines. And, I mean, that was the attitude we saw from Akame right there. That was what champions look like. That's what winners look like. Yeah. My goodness.
I wonder, Bull, if we start to worry about Hackettstown right now, because what we saw out of this team is that when they win, they sweep. In this situation, they're being battle tested, and normally the results don't show for this team when they get tested. In fact, they haven't dropped a game in weeks now in HSEL. Now that they have, does this mean trouble for Hackettstown?
Yeah, it's the first game that anybody's taken off of them in 5 weeks. This being the 6th. It's only time will tell. I mean, it's a bit early to call, you know. I mean, it was an outstanding win from GCA, but this is why it's a best of 7. There's still plenty of time for Hackettstown to turn this game around. We saw how explosive they were in that final 30 seconds. I think this one's up in the air. This is still anybody's ball game.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, the results show for what Hackettstown are able to do when they take game after game after game, but every series is just a new look. It's a new act, and we'll see how this chapter is written. Still 0-0 in the first minute here for Hackettstown. I've got to say, Jarhead is a player I'm looking out for. This is a player who didn't have any goals of the 2 that this team scored, but assisted both. And so if there's any catalyst for this offense, maybe it's that player, or maybe it is diaper check. Pass downfield, right off the post, and to the other way they go. So close on that chance.
Tapping both posts on that attack. Very close there from Hackettstown, and now they're immediately being tested on the defense. Rotations are there. All 3 scream across the line, and Hackettstown, they send all 3 forward in a beautiful counterattack. A high-risk, high-reward plays. You will see all 3 blue cars screaming at the orange net. Luke C comes up with the goods.
I mean, yeah, that was just a race to the finish line there. Everybody tried to be the first one to that goal. And GCA, well, just an inch behind. And this is the first lead we're seeing now from Hackettstown. How does this team play while they're ahead? That still is to tell.
Pass from Diapercheck along the wall. He's going to hold on to it. Thought might go to Jarhead. He's going to wait until he got into deep in the zone. But Jarhead can't get the pass. Ooh, a double commit from the defense, though. Both get displaced. A beautiful contact has opened this up. Hackettstown's going to put it off the backboards. Jarhead setting that up. Diapercheck was a little late to the party. And here comes GCA back on the attack. I Am Fantasy just taking the blunt force option, going straight at the goal. That one gets sent back. Second attempt, stuffed along the line. KV still hanging out here, but gets demoed by Luke C from behind.
And there's a ton of physicality right now coming from Hackettstown. We saw that double bump from Jarhead. Luke C coming up with the demolition there on that play. And it's starting to clear these lanes for Hackettstown to shut their stuff, get a little confidence, and gain control in this game. When you're keeping GCA disrupted and disturbed with these bump plays, it can help to let your team start to find their way around the court. Luke C, good save there as he's looking to move their way back the other side.
And when you start controlling the tempo, confidence starts to elevate, comms are getting better, morale goes up. I mean, it is a snowball effect. And it's what we're starting to see from Hackettstown, and starting to find a little bit of that swagger. And when that confidence starts to go up, it becomes unerring. That's when teams start running away with series. Now, Hackettstown's not quite there yet, but look at all the pressure they've been putting on. Look how long we've been living in the orange half of this pitch. That one's going to go. I thought the near post was covered. Diapercheck found an opening.
I think the post has done enough work this game already. Finally, they're going to get the friendly roll this time around, right off of KV as it lands in the net. You talked about pressure here, Bull Skunk, and boy, do Hackettstown got it. 6 shots versus 2. In fact, Fantasy, the only player right now to put a shot on. Okay, KV is going to add to that tally. But I do continue to look at Fantasy for GCA, as that was the player to score all the goals for that team last game.
And that still holds. It's still the only player on that team to put one in the back of the net so far. So absolutely, we've got to look to Fantasy to try to bring this one back, at least kind of get things started. Right now, GCA are kind of clumped up in the corner. And Hackettstown are doing a good job of kind of passing around and using this back wall to good effect. Diapercheck just passing to themselves. Akamai will get a piece of that. Jarhead is ready to receive. Back into the corner it goes. 70 seconds on the clock. GCA struggling to get out of their own end.
Yeah, they've got to do it sooner rather than later. Diapercheck another bat towards the net. This one looks like it's got clearance, but no. KV has different plans in mind. Sends it away. That defense looking more formidable, but now it's all about the offense for GCA if they can find a way back out again.
Not quite. We'll get past effort. Okay, it's going to take the second person coming up. Fantasy is going to make a shot at it here. Follow-up shot is high from Hakame. And there's nobody close enough to get the rebound. It is kept in the zone, but only momentarily. And then slowly but surely, GCA are starting to bleed out. Luke C is going to take it all the way back in. That one off the post. Diapercheck with the follow-up. Third goal for Hackettstown. Feeling like the one that is going to tie up the series.
You know, never have I seen a gizmo look this mechanical in my life. I mean, it was a jump. He faked the air dribble, came back down, and then flicked it past the defense. You don't see that. The last time I saw a gizmo 6 years ago when I was queuing at bronze, but Luke C does it here. Oh, and now Luke C looking for their own play. Double tap, won't go in, but it's a setup for Jarhead. Hackettstown run away with it.
And everybody getting on the board. Everybody getting into the fun. Jarhead, the final one to score. Player that kind of set up this success. They started things off right here for Hackettstown in game 1. Towards the back end of it. Super important in the 2 goals that they did put up. Unfortunately for them, they dropped that one. But coming back strong in game 2. It's going to be a 4-0 shutout. What a response from the Tigers.
You gotta wonder, I mean, like, what was the adjustment made here? Because Hackettstown, there had to have been one, right? Maybe it was denying fantasy of all the shots they were putting up, right? 3 goals in the last game, 0 here. Only 2 of the 3 shots put up from GCA this game. That is massive for the defense, but Bullskunk, I think, what more so attributed to their defense was their overwhelming offense. While GCA had 3 shots, Hackettstown had 13. They were just able to keep these possessions rolling and rolling, undermining any of the opportunities for GCA.
Yeah, I mean, over 4 times the amount of shots put on. I mean, it's pretty indicative of possession as well as just time in the zone and how often we were just in the orange half. We were set up over there. We set up shop. We were getting to know the local markets. We had a nice little campsite. Like, we were living in the orange half. It was just gathering dust over on the blue side, turning into a ghost town.
And sometimes for teams like that, for GCA, when you're spending so much time defensively, you got to think about, okay, what changes have to be made here? How are we clearing the ball? Are we looking for players downfield to get a pass to try and spike a counterattack? Or when we get possession, are we not rotating deep enough to just keep the possession going for longer than a few seconds? Those are the questions being asked right now for GCA as they do concede game number 2 and put this series level at 1-1.
I feel like GCA has been clumping up quite a bit. They seem to always play very close to each other, which can help to overwhelm, like we're seeing here. You're getting those 2v1s, but it also means that they don't have a lot of pitch to work with a lot of times. There's not people downfield to open up those passing lanes and to spread Hackettstown up and create opportunity for GCA to work. So I'm looking for them to spread out a little bit more, maybe more passing game out of GCA coming into game 3.
We'll see if that range attributes to some success here for GCA. They do have this ball on the other end, which has been what we've been looking for all this time. Can they take advantage of it, or will the power of the Merc put this ball right down to the other side? I'm liking the card changes out here. Diaper check, feeling confident in that big-bodied vehicle.
But once again, Hackettstown are able to easily break through midfield. And now GCA are having to spend time and resources just to get back out. Now, that was a good breakout. Good shot. Ball from Akame. Chance here, but the defense holds from Hackettstown. All 3 players from GCA get a look at it. All 3 get denied.
Comes down to the rotations here for Hackettstown. I mean, it's just one after the other, ready to guard the goal line. They're staying back post as well so they can clear out wherever that shot is placed. It's going to take more from GCA than just a couple good shots to really break down this hard-nosed defense of Hackettstown.
That's what worked from in game 1, but that has not worked since. So GCA need to find an adjustment here. I will say that they've at least gotten into the blue half a little bit more here in the first couple minutes of game 3, so that's a good start. But once again, we're seeing all clumped up here along the side. Luxie chasing him down, 2v1. As GCA want possession, but Luxie just patiently awaits the ball along the wall, comes in with the great challenge, and then walks away with the dribble. Okay, with a good touch, though. Forces it back into the middle. Jarhead finds the clear.
Very intentional, the touches right now from Hackettstown. You saw Luke C just absorb the entire 50-50 and then dribble it away, making it harder and harder for GCA to just get better 50-50s, find advantages where they truly need to on these possessions to get these shots to go. Otherwise, Hackettstown just feel like this brick wall that it's going to take everything and more to push through. Luke C says, I can do more than just a dribble absorb challenges. He's going to dribble in the air instead and leave this up for Jarhead.
Oh, that touch off the ceiling to beat the defender, and then just gets ahead of the other 2. GCA rotations are getting punished, and I feel like it's part of that same positioning tendency that I've been kind of harping on here for the first half of this game. But all props to Luke C. Beautiful aerial dribble and the great feed to Jarhead. Diaper check now going to just pile on insult to injury.
Yeah, it's feeling like deja vu here, Bullskunk, a little bit. I mean, you actually mentioned this. The first goal that Hackettstown scored in game number 1, you said once these players start feeling their groove, getting their confidence up, it starts to be a runaway game, a runaway match. And that's exactly what it has become. I mean, talk about a drought right now for GCA. Didn't score a single goal in the last game or this. That's 8 minutes of game time at least without a goal. They've got to end it soon.
And I feel like they scored the 2 goals that they held for the majority of game 1 were very early in game 1. So everything aside from the 0-second, heroic, outstanding goal out of fantasy that won GCA that game, aside from that, it's been well over 10 minutes since we've seen them put one in the back of the net. And a demo here is not going to help their causes, though they do get the clear, push the ball back down, but it's a 1v3 in the corner. Akama waits for it and actually receives the ball, puts one on near post, but it's easy to deal with, didn't have much on it. Jarhead will play this one off the wall, but a good touch, and GC are starting to develop a little bit of offense. More spread out, more protection of midfield line. They're able to keep it in the blue half a little bit longer.
Infield touch there. Sorted away by Diaper. Check pass. Trying to find the infield. Finally, it's off the backboard, but that does force 2 players from GCA. And, that was the first great shot chance they had. Another one upcoming here. Is anyone there to receive the rebound off the backboard? Not soon enough there. Jarhead finds a mighty clear out to Luxie. Look at that counter transition, that connection they have when they're just trying to move this ball back up the field and defuse what could have been a lethal chance for GCA.
Yeah, Hackettstown just make it look so easy. And that was a golden opportunity. GCA had this beautiful setup, everything going right, and then just kind of flubbed it in the final moments. And it seems like a bit of confusion on who's going to go up for that final attack. All that setup falls just for nothing. And now suddenly it's at 20 seconds, and GCA still have yet to put one home. Opportunity here is going to go wide. Nobody to receive the pass. Another great center falling on deaf ears.
Yeah, and feels like it's falling apart now for GCA. Final moments here. Every player's breaking loose on the ball, trying to get a bite, a piece, anything that they can nibble on, but nothing is going to equate to the goal that GCA needed to get even a chance at Hackettstown. Hackettstown get another shutout win to get the advantage in the series 2-1.
Oof, what a comeback. What a couple of games. Hackettstown have started to take over. They're starting to strut. It really is just feel like they found that stride. They got in that rhythm, and now it is up to GCA to dislodge them. Because Hackettstown are cruising. They are happy in their lane and just cruising right now.
Yeah, you think about what adjustments needed to be made as well. You're right, Hackettstown, they're happy, they're cruising. But for GCA, right, what was it about their shot counts? The deficit was awful. They were 3 to 13, 14, something like that. This time it's even. This time it's actually even. It's 6v6, and we had even possession as well. But that didn't change the outcome, Bullskunk. There's still more that needs to be done, and whether it's efficiency on offense or getting the right looks, we just haven't seen that yet for GCA.
We saw improvement. We definitely saw improvement that is reflected in those shot totals that you're talking about. They fixed some problems. GCA were able to fix the problem of we can't get out of our own half. So, they changed that, and they were spread out a little bit more. They were protecting midfield line on their offense a little bit more, so they were able to maintain that possession. Now it's a matter of finishing their plays. You set up these good plays, get in front of the net, and then you're just not able to finish them off and put the ball in the back of the net. So that's where it lies now. You can't forget the previous lessons, though. Don't forget what you learned, because you did improve, but GCA, now it's to take it to the next step and see if you can tie us up here in game number 4.
Best of 7's truly a learning process. As long as these series can be, there's so much room for adaptations to be made. Or adaptations, what it could take, while Hackettstown have just brought down everything onto this team, and that is not enough, no, for GCA to get a piece of. A lot of clumping here on the goal line. It still doesn't do it.
I'm a fan of Jarhead. I'll tell you that right now. I'm just a fan of Jarhead. I love the slow approach. Not trying to rush anything, but waiting for the right openings. And it's such a simple little pass. It's nothing overly mechanical, but it was just perfectly placed and beat all 3 defenders. It's Luxie who comes up with the goal, who gets the beautiful finish on that to go over the 3 defenders. But it's Jarhead who set up that entire thing. Oh, here comes Jarhead again for goal number 2.
Yeah, we're singing the praises of Jarhead, and for good reason. Caught this and went its way straight to the net. Little too much trust there on the GCA, and thought the first challenger would get a piece of the ball, but nothing came up.
And it's just these simple little smart touches. That one, Jarhead just looks like they're going to go right, and then just kind of gets a nice little touch on the ball to push it back left, and it's enough to throw the defender off their trajectory. And they just go flying right by. Jarhead sails in for an easy 2-0. Barely a minute in at that point. Here's Jarhead defensively right now. And the rest of Hackettstown looking to get out of here. Looks like they at least got it to midfield, but it's going to come right back. A long-distance play that Hackettstown are able to just pull the ball in, take possession, and go right back to work.
Oh my, that's some work put into that ball. Fantasy, good ground pinch. It's still not enough to get past Luke C, who's coming right down the other end. There's a flip past the defender. Will go to the outside. Diaper check just not in position to lay down the shot. It's one firefight after the other that is pushing its way to the goal line. Diaper check going to get a chance now as well. The speed, the pace of this game has reached its full limit. But both lines are holding it together. GCA, that one will not go. This team, they've got to stay composed. Those first 2 goals against them, that's very deflating, but they've still got a rightful chance in the series.
What a wild 60 seconds it's been. I mean, absolute crazy back and forth. And it feels like both teams are just barely hanging on by a thread, just barely able to get back in time, or avoiding a bullet because the shot is just slightly off because these teams are rushing so much. Slow it back down here a little bit. Nice pass! Great goal from KV to cut this lead.
Woo-wee. Okay, well, if we wanted any answer or response from GCA, this was it. Flick past the defender, and a hard shot. I appreciate that Jarhead is in position for this save, but once you get that link up, once you get the connection to be like that, there ain't no stopping it.
First goal we've seen out of GCA in 12 and a half minutes, and they're going to put up back-to-back as Fantasy wastes no time. Realizing that they have been starved, famished, GCA are finally finding themselves something to nibble on.
The rebirth of Fantasy. I've been waiting for this player to heat on up again after we saw the hat trick in game number 1. Well, there it is. You give Fantasy the space, and well, we saw exactly what they'll do with it. Again, it's about staying composed here. They've tied up this game. Will they be able to experience a lead here in the last 2 minutes of this game number 4?
We know Fantasy's got the chops, right? I mean, it was just the put on display immediately. First thing we saw. And it's been so quiet since, but what an important goal here from GCA. Now need to hang on. Great touch there. Forces Jarhead to turn around and try to get back to the ball. KV's able to beat him to it. Jarhead eventually will steal the ball away, and Luxie and company try to go back on the attack. GCA taking up a very defensive posture off of that final touch. They hold the line, though, and looking to go back to work. GCA get the lead here.
We're looking at Hackettstown start to get that defense to be more rotationally sound, which we've seen in those 2 shutout games. But GCA, they just won't let up. It's about that amounting pressure they've been able to have. Could it all break down here? Good save from Akamai. Diaper check up for this shot. No goal, no assists in the game yet, but there's one to put on the stat sheet.
And a very important one indeed. This one for the lead here in a very important game 4. And that little touch just goes up and over. Akamai did a good job of getting the initial save and getting the ball out of there, but Hackettstown did it better. They're able to keep that ball corralled in, and now everybody has a goal. 3-2 lead, 65 seconds to go.
This game, this result is going to mean so much for these 2 different teams. Fantasy had the musty flick for the increased levity, but then almost had the dunk on the defender. That would have been the highlight goal of this game, of this match even. At least so far. Jarhead, no, not on the better end of that ball either. These players trying to pop off for what could be the last goal of this game.
That must have been the dunk had gone. I mean, that could have been a highlight goal of the season. That was bold and very nearly successful. Jarhead's going to take a look here. Good stuff from Fantasy. 20 seconds to go. Knock him on the outside. Has KV next to him to work with. Diaper check wins the 50. The ball goes back into the orange half. It's a race now here. GCA certainly can't afford to give up the goal. It's the last thing they need. Touch needs to get past Jarhead. Can't do it. It's Luke C along the wall who keeps it in. And GCA won't even get close to the Hackettstown goal as Jarhead will put away game 4.
There it is, Hackettstown. They have been so resilient throughout this series, and well, that was the moment to show how they could be, especially in the clutch moments. They prevail there and earn themselves, I'd say earn themselves the game 4 victory. I'm not sure it's possible for GCA to take this win. We'll see the ball hit the ground here shortly after.
Yeah. This is all just bonus time. This is just bonus game time for us to sing the praises of Hackettstown, excuse me. The Tigers, resilience. I love that word. I think it is the perfect descriptor for this Hackettstown squad, and now they are sitting on match point. Beautifully played, and hey, I'm happy to see some signs of life out of GCA as well. But yeah, their continued improvement still not enough to take down the Tigers there in game 4.
It's getting there, right? It's getting there. It's been about inch after inch, about going the whole 9 yards. But man, Hackettstown, they eat up all that pressure and spit it right back out at them. It's really tough for GCA to find a response here, but hey, it's still a close match. And this is sort of what we expected, Bull Skunk, when we looked at this one, because similar records, 16 and 17 rank, just about the same. This is as close as you get here in the first week of the playoffs.
And honestly, I figured if it was going to be anything, it'd be Hackettstown running away with it. So with GCA coming out with that opening game 1 win, it was like, wait a minute, I don't know what to expect now. and then we see the 2 shutouts, and you're like, okay, so we're going this direction now. And then we're back to what was essentially a 1-goal game there until the very, very end. I mean, I still don't know which way to call it. Hackettstown are on match point, and I still think it's too close to call. That's where I'm at this point.
The beautiful everlasting nature of Rocket League, that is a seesaw. It's just back and forth, and yeah, it's the beauty of it. Back and forth we go straight into this next game. Jarhead gets a really good look, and all the seesaw, it just weighs more in the favor of Hackettstown.
Jarhead just catches their own ball. Yep, KV just doesn't have the boost to get up to it. Jarhead knows it, keeps it up high, keeping that upper 90. 6-second goal.
Beauty it was. Jarhead singing the praises of that player, and okay, diaper check. Oh yes, the battle bus. What the car that should have been the biggest on the field, but instead is this little miniature version of it, is going to be the last opponent you see as Hackettstown concede their first goal in game 5.
Yep, KV able to sneak one away here. Everybody distracted by the battle bus. KV was not thrown off by your craziness. Was not dismayed by your shenanigans. Finds it open. Just drives it right up the middle. Nobody there. KV finds that tying goal. I feel like a pivotal tying goal as well. GCA have struggled to come by them. So one early here tells me that they can kind of break that seal at the beginning of this game and not wait until the final 30 seconds to get rid of the goose egg.
Yeah, we'll see if that's the case. What else I'm liking from Hackettstown is they're getting good reads off the backboard. They've had a lot of good passes there and follow shots that just never made the mark. Now it looks like they've got what it takes. They hit these high-flying shots, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Fantasy right off the crossbar. Really difficult shot to hit, but it gave GCA about as close as coming as they could. Luke C, the response is swift.
It was this high difficult, high mechanical play that just narrowly misses from Fantasy. And then Luke just turns around and just drives it right up the middle. With just the most simple of mechanical goals possible.
And simple was all that it took. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. That's what they say. Luke C.
Absolutely.
Okay, whoa, that was a little more than simple, bit advanced, but again, doesn't hit the mark. I guess it is just ground shots to rely on for this game 5.
A long distance one here, not quite on target. Not sure Luke would have made it for the block, but side relief from Hackettstown. They're going to stack on their lead. No, KV comes in out of nowhere and able to get that one out. Big save, but GCA have not escaped their zone yet. Luke C hot on the heels of GCA as they're looking to get out of there. It's just going to be a deep ball finally. Finally, Fantasy just has to dump it away. KV's able to chase it down, though, and kind of regain some possession. Fantasy's going to try to challenge, but Luke C just dances right around him. Luke C going right to the goal and slams it home.
Unbelievable. And to think that the one gizmo play I thought was just a fluke. No, that's not the case whatsoever. The fake into the flick. We've seen it all today from Luke C. But who will we see from GCA step up to the plate? I gotta believe it's Fantasy again. Was trying to double tap earlier and then the pinch play off the ceiling. You gotta give that player the space for GCA to get a chance at coming back.
Yep. I can't help but agree with you. It all feels like up to Fantasy to bring this team back into this thing. And this is the last chance. This is a single elimination bracket. There's no safety net. If GCA cannot pull out a dub here, their tournament lives are over. They will be watching from afar. Look at my nose this. Sends one back in deep as we pass the halfway mark of game 5. Ball spits back out. 2 players from GCA trying to chase it down. Neither can get a handle on it. Eventually just have to dump it across the pitch just to keep it out of Jarhead's hands. But Diaper Check still comes away with the ball.
And they're bringing that, rattling it right around the cage, keeping GCA locked in their half. This is where Hackettstown like to be. Luke C makes it look easy. A 4th.
Luke just gets behind everybody. GCA, the rotations completely break down. Lucy comes through with an incredible steal. And suddenly GCA are just flat-footed and absent. An easy goal. Lucy with 3 here in this game. Has the Hattie. 4-1 lead for Hackettstown. And this is feeling like it's all but done.
Certainly does. That's a hat trick just off of 4 shots registered here. The efficiency is something to be named here for Hackettstown. GCA, I mean, in some situations, the defense doesn't show up, and in others, the rotation was never there to begin with. Maybe on offense, it is shot denied by Luke C. And, Luke C is going to be right there to clear it out away. Boy, I bet if GCA could just delete one player off the field forever, it'd be Luke C. But no, a constant nuisance.
And you knew that was going to be the case just seeing that car right out of the gate, right? You knew Lucy was just going to be in your face the whole time. It's just going to be a menace on this pitch. And has been everywhere. Lucy's been explosive on both ends. Has been very physical, been able to score goals, get some good passes, good saves. Has had a heck of a series.
And indeed, and it may take that caliber to just put a lid on this series and get their next spot in the playoffs here. 48 seconds for them to keep 3 goals out of their own net. You know GCA, they've got to lay it all out on the line here in the final minute.
So, yeah, leave everything on the pitch. Show us everything you got, GCA. Blood, sweat, and tears. Let's see it all here. Fantasy coming in. Would love to see one more goal out of this GCA squad. Just one to take with them. KV can't get a good handle on it. Ball in an awkward spot. Diaper Check looking for the bounce shot. That one's going to go. And it's Hackettstown who continue to stack onto their scoreline.
Yeah, one for the road, but unfortunately for GCA, that's going to find its way on the Hackettstown side. This team responded so well by being beaten down in game number 1, and boy, did they never look back. Those are the type of teams that I feel truly earn their spot in playoffs and earned round after round how far they will go. Hackettstown showing that, yeah, they can get beaten down, but they'll get right back up and they'll take it right to them. This series is over. Hackettstown defeat GCA. They'll be the ones to play the winners of Summit Hilltoppers and TC Robertson next week.
Congrats. Huge congrats to the Tigers. Hackettstown moves on, and they keep their win streak alive, albeit maybe not flawless as their previous 5 games were. But you know what? A 4-1 win is still pretty darn solid, Pyro.
It's really solid, and it speaks to what these players are capable of. I mean, we talked about Jarhead earlier, then we couldn't say enough about Luke C, and Diaper Check kind of felt like that glue of the team, right? When I called out that Diaper Check had no goals or assists, I think it was game 3 or game 4, bam, comes in with a hot goal. I mean, all these players have what it takes to be here in the playoffs. Bull Skunk, and that's exactly what we saw. I'll clarify as well, they do move on to the next round and do play against the winners of those teams. I don't know if it's next week or later this week, but they will move on and play at some time. Bull.
I mean, this is all culminating to the finals, which will take place on April 25th. That's basically what we know for sure. Past that, we're not exactly locked in on the scheduling, but we know all 4 regions will play their Rocket League finals on April 25th. That's what this is all leading up to. And, well, we're leading up to our next match. We still have more playoff Rocket League coming up, so stick around. More HSEL right around the corner.